Well, good evening. Welcome to this special performance of September Bears, a love story from a Long Island town, written and directed by Jeff Barker. This is one of two special performances that are happening this weekend as we commemorate the 20th anniversary of 9/11. The second performance will be tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. here at Trinity, so you're welcome to come back or invite friends to come along with you. You may have received a cast and crew list when you came in, this little green insert, and I want you to know that this project is the collaborative effort of persons from a variety of different area churches, as well as Dordt University and Northwestern College. So it's just a privilege for Trinity to be hosting this tonight. My name is Brian Keepers. I'm the lead pastor here, and we're just so glad that you've come out to be a part of this performance. It will be an hour long. When it's finished, then you are free to go. Before we begin, I would like to offer a prayer, and I want to offer this prayer from a book of liturgies called Every Moment Holy. And this is a prayer, I'm going to read a part of the prayer for a national tragedy. So let's pray. O sovereign Lord, you once brooded over the formless chaos of ancient waters and brought forth the order and flourishing of creation. Do so again, O Spirit of God. From the chaos of this tragedy, call forth new life and order and flourishing. Take even what our adversary might have meant for evil, and from it bring forth eternal good. O Lord, you alone have the strength to carry this people. So carry us now, O Lord. And you alone have wisdom and power to heal the wounds of a nation, to heal the wounds of all nations. Heal us, O Lord. And you alone have compassion enough to enter our widespread grief and turn it to hope. Be merciful, O Christ, for it is in your name we pray. And all of God's people said, Amen. In June 2002, the summer after 9/11, Jeff Barker's friend, Mary Clark, was in town for a national gathering for the Reformed Church in America. Knowing that she was from Long Island, Jeff asked her how the past year had been. She told him the story of September Bears.
Do you like true stories? This one is, even though, who can remember every detail? But the people are real, and what happened is real. And you say, that's it, that's the way it was, even though a long time later you still can't sort it all out. This is a true story.
I get up early this morning to drop my wife at the airport, LaGuardia.
By 7 a.m., I say, goodbye, Stuart.
Goodbye, Mary.
I'm in the air.
I'm headed home.
I'm off to Dallas.
And I'm going to work.
My dear friend, Sue, she attends the church where Stuart is pastor. This morning, she's way down below me on the LIE, zooming her way into the city.
There's one person who can't be tardy, the teacher.
Sue and I are soulmates, barreling headlong past middle age and toward...
They're off to Dallas, off to Manhattan, but I know a couch waiting back at Manhasset.
Life's too precious for sitting still.
Meaning that if you're a passenger with Sue, it's best to buckle up.
It's 7:30. The flight attendant is serving coffee and juice.
It's 7:45, and I'm back at the parsonage, If you don't know what that is, well, that's where a parson lives. And I'm on the parsonage sofa doing what you call resting my eyes. I'm not sleeping on the job. I'm resting my eyes.
It's 8 o'clock, and my students stow their lunch boxes, binders in desks, homework in the box, pencils sharp. Routine is crucial for this crew. I have 12 students. I've got the 10-year-olds. And it's a private school, and they all have learning disabilities, LD. The whole school. That's why they're here. They know they're learning disabled. They also know I'll give them a fight if they think LD means less doing. Every day, they walk past the display that tells about one of our school's heroes, Winston Churchill. Heard of him? Did you know he was LD? His grade school report card from 1884 says,
Grammar, improved. Mathematics, improved. Diligence, he is not able to stick with any one task. Punctuality, disgraceful. History and geography, very good, especially history. Music, promising. Drawing, fair considering. General conduct, he is a constant trouble to everyone. Other comments, he has very good ability.
he is a constant trouble to everyone. He has very good ability. Every one of my kids knows what failure feels like, but here they're all in the same boat, and their day begins with hope.
It's 8:30. It'll be a couple of hours before I touch down in Dallas.
At 10 to 9, the principal comes over the intercom.
Good morning.
13 sets of eyes look over at the speaker as if somebody was in there. Why do we do that? These kids are bright, LD, but very sharp. The principal says,
I'd like to request that all head teachers come to the main lobby for a brief meeting. Please come immediately. Thank you.
I'll be right back. I step into the hall.
What's this about, Sue?
I don't know. Maybe somebody donated $1 million so we can build a swimming pool.
What in the world?
Maybe somebody donated $1 million so we could build a swimming pool?
We trudge down to huddle up by our little display about the man who invented the phrase blood, toil, tears, and sweat. Remember?
What does she want with us? I heard we're going to build a new swimming pool because somebody just gave us $1 million.
What?
Well, I think a new swimming pool is a great idea.
A year ago, our school moved to the southern end of the island. Before that, our old school was near Central Park. Central, that means middle, the middle of the island, this island with the Algonquin name. The Algonquin tribe allowed the Dutch. What country did the Dutch come from? You can talk to me. What country did the Dutch come from? There you go. Thank you. And what ocean did they cross to get here? The Atlantic. Very good. Well, they built a fort on the southern end of the island, and the Dutch built streets and gave them names, practical names, according to what they went past in the fort. Wall Street, Church Street. Some British folks, what country did the British come from? England. Very good. Well, they paddled up to shore and said to the Dutch people, we're the bosses now. And we like our home country's names better than yours. So New Holland became New England, and New Amsterdam Fort became New York. But they kept some of the Native American names, like Rockaway and Hackensack. My hometown has a Native American name, Manhasset. Now, what other Native American name does that sound like?
What are we doing, Lucarelli?
Oh, I don't know about you. I'm thinking about my history lesson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that does not look like a swimming pool face.
No.
There has been an accident at the World Trade Center.
An airplane has flown into the side of the building. It's not yet known what the circumstances are, but there are parents working there, so we will keep you informed. Please, do not alarm the children and continue to teach as if nothing has happened.
It's a perfectly beautiful day. What turkey would fly into the side of a building in bright sunshine?
It must have been one of those single-engine jobs.
I thought a new swimming pool was a great idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. This is your captain. Everything is perfectly safe, but I regret to inform you that we're going to be taking an unexpected layover this morning, and we'll be deplaning at Atlanta International. Again, I am sorry about this, but the FAA has requested this, and we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available.
I make it up to the classroom, but before I can continue to teach as if nothing has happened, the intercom pops back on. This time, no please, no thank you.
Head teachers, to the lobby immediately.
Excuse me, children.
I'm watching TV at college in Alabama. I telephoned my father in Manhasset at the parsonage. I wake him up.
Hello?
Did I wake you up, Dad?
No, I was just resting my eyes. Hi, sweetheart.
Did Mom get on the plane? Did she take off?
Yeah, she took off on schedule. What?
Is your television on?
No.
Turn your television on.
What is it?
Turn your television on.
What? What's wrong?
Turn your TV on, Dad.
Which channel?
Any channel.
What is it?
I've got to go.
Jennifer.
I'm late, Dad.
Suddenly, we're right back where we were a few minutes ago.
A second plane has hit the towers. Both planes were passenger planes. It is believed. We are in touch with the police. We will, if you would, please return. I promise I will keep you informed. Thank you.
When I was in Vietnam, my men and I were pinned down. And I called in an airstrike, and we watched them come over, and then the napalm hit. I asked them to adjust the second strike by, 50 feet, and they did. And then we cheered. We planned it, we did it, and we cheered. They are cheering. They are somewhere right now cheering. That's what they're doing. If Mary can call me, where will she first call? The church building. She'll expect me to be at church.
Well, good morning, Miss Clark. I've already taken the roll.
I know. I'm sorry, Professor. I was watching. There have been...
Yes, I know, but that doesn't concern us here.
My mother got on an airplane this morning in New York at 7 o'clock, and I don't know where she is. Don't tell me what doesn't concern us here.
I'm back in my classroom when the announcement comes. Downstairs, grab nothing, leave now. Everyone to the basement. The center of my body disappears. Where's my husband? Where's our son Johnny? Did they have appointments downtown today? Could they have been? But this wife and mother must be a teacher whose students' eyes ask, what's happening? What's going on? Have you ever heard the sound of 350 children moving quickly to the basement of a school, and we go with them, the adults they love and trust, stone-faced, tight-lipped, unsmiling. Why? They want their parents. I dash upstairs to gather toys and games. There's a phone in my classroom. I call and my husband answers. He's safe. Johnny's safe. I say, I love you. I say, tell Johnny. I run back down. I must be Mama Luke until the parents come. I must send the children walking home with their parents. No school buses, no cars, no trains. They must walk across bridges, not 3 blocks, but 3 miles. That day, all of the teachers were wearing watches, but none of us knew what time it was. Did you know there are some Native American languages that have no word for time? Now we are all Manhattans. We have lost track of time. We send the last students on their walks. Then comes our turn. I go to meet my husband and Johnny. I do not yet know. I have not yet heard. As I walk toward Midtown, I come upon the most heartening sight I have ever seen. New York City has become a small town of y'all come.
Community Reformed Church.
Sandy?
Mary? Pastor Stu. Stuart, it's Mary!
Hello, Sandy.
Mary. Oh, we've been. Oh, here he is.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
It's Mary, Sandy. It's Mary.
I've got to, people are here in line, Stuart. I'm sorry.
Where are you?
Well, I'm in Atlanta. I'm fine, except I've got to get off the phone. There are people here. So I'll call you back, okay?
Are you going?
No, not yet, and we can't.
Are you going to,
They've made a reservation, but I don't know how, because there aren't any rental.
You will, don't worry. Dear God, thank you for this moment. You can hang up, Mary. I love you.
Yes, amen, and I love you.
There's a line of people waiting to use the payphones at the airport, but the airline has made a hotel reservation for her. She's just got to figure out transportation to get to the hotel. She's going to call back after she gets there.
She's not.
No, they had to put down in Atlanta.
Is she going to try to go to her meeting in Dallas?
Not if I know Mary. If I know Mary, she's coming home.
I don't know how.
Me too, but not knowing something doesn't make it less true.
Two days later, Thursday, there are 5 airplanes that get into LaGuardia. One of them has a bunch of Delta employees and me.
Well, hello there, you. Welcome to the new world.
I don't know why we had school that Thursday, but we did. I guess we thought the routine would help. So I give our dog Daisy a goodbye rub, make the drive from Manhasset to Manhattan, arrive at school, welcome the children, stow the lunch boxes, binders in desks, homework in the box, pencils sharp, just like every day. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Some people believe you ought not to say under God in school, just like some people believe you ought not to have a flag at a religious building. But that is not what we're worried about today, because today there are soldiers in the playground. Not you, my child, not you. You are innocent, as are all the children. Those who lost daddies, mommies, brothers and friends. Those who lost the neighbor who bought cookies and lemonade, the coach, the funny guy on the train. They are gone. They went to work early to get a cup of coffee, to read the paper, to watch the sunrise on that gorgeous day. They went to prepare for a meeting, to have a conversation with the boss before seeing a client. They called home to say goodbye or I love you. Others had no time at all. What must we do, my child, to make your world safe and secure again? What? God.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The thing to do on this Thursday is to get busy working with our hands, and so we do. Okay, who else is ready to show theirs? Rosie. Okay.
The buildings are the same shape and size as before, but this time they have these rubber bands represent rubber bands so that if anything tries to hit the buildings, they'll just boing, bounce right off.
Thank you. Good job. Who's next? Jillian.
This is the other. And on this one and this one, there are great big helicopters on the roof. So if the elevators go out of service, they can carry everyone away.
Oh, very nice. Josh.
There are 110 floors to each building, so half of that is 55. So each building breaks in half, and there are these helicopter blades that can lift the top half up if anything is going to hit the building. The blades start turning and lift the top half up about 300 feet, which is the same length as a football field. Then, when the projectile has gone past, the building sits back down.
Very nice. Very nice. Eddie?
The reason these buildings look like spaceships is because they are spaceships. So that if anything bad happens, like an earthquake or anything you could think of, you just have to press this red button here and off they go into outer space. And inside the ceiling is made of marshmallows so that people don't get hurt when it flips upside down to come back to Earth. And there's parachutes in the basement, and if the ride goes past lunchtime, you can just eat the ceiling.
Chad?
Oh, yes. I'm ready. I was ready, but I didn't put enough glue on it. I need to rebuild it.
That's all right. We will rebuild it. It's all right.
Okay.
Is that an airplane?
All right. It's all right. It's just our Air Force. That's all.
Is that the good guys?
Yeah. Come and sit here, children. Sit down here. I'd like to ask you just a few questions about what happened on Tuesday. I know your parents are all safe. I would like it if you would tell us if there's someone you know who is lost. No one? Are there other things you'd like to tell us about what happened? Jillian?
I was on my way to school on Tuesday. I was late. I was with my mom. We were in a taxi, and we could see something happening. And we saw the smoke, so we could tell it was something bad. And then we saw something fall, and then something else, except they were people. So my mom told the taxi driver to turn around, and we went home, and that's why I was not in school on Tuesday.
Eddie?
We can't get to our apartment. It's on the other side of the barricades, so we have to stay at my aunt's house. And today after school, my mom is going to take me to get some new clothes, and I hope she gets me a toy. And I asked if we could go to McDonald's, and she said, "We'll see."
Chad?
My father is an American citizen, but he was born in another country.
Mrs. Lucarelli, why would God let something like this happen?
Mrs. Lucarelli, are you Jewish?
No, I'm a Christian.
My cousin was killed last year by a terrorist bomber in Israel, and my parents say that could start happening here.
Mrs. Lucarelli, do you know stuff about Jesus?
Well, Jesus was Jewish, and he was born in Israel 2,000 years ago, and I will tell you about him, but what I would like you to do is, you have Hebrew school today, don't you? I'd like you to ask your rabbi that same question. And I don't know why God would let this happen. I don't believe he wants it to happen. I believe that this is an evil thing. And I believe Jesus taught his followers to treat everyone with love. And I believe that what has happened, is not what Jesus would have wanted. Chad? What? It's okay. You can rebuild it.
All I know is I need a hug.
Oh, come here. Just a minute.
Oh, I bet it's marshmallow. She might have got it. It's gotta be marshmallow. Maybe she's getting marshmallow. Maybe some glue for
I want to hold this one for a while. I only have three. Children, you have to pass the bears around today.
How many minutes does each child get?
Tomorrow, I will bring more bears. I'll make sure everyone has a bear to hold tomorrow.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Do we get to take them home?
They'll stay here, but you can hold them here. We'll sit them on your desk. Every day they'll be here for you, and you can get a bear hug from them anytime you need them. They'll be there for you, all right?
You have 3 bears here, and there are 12 students, so you have to bring 9 bears tomorrow, unless you want one too, and if you do, you have to bring 10.
Mrs. Lucarelli, would you like to tell us if there is anybody you know who is lost?
Children, let's get to writing. Let's go back to our desks. What do you want to write?
I want to write a letter to America.
We should write a letter to the president.
He lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I will not fulfill my promise to bring bears tomorrow because on Friday, school will be canceled again. I go to church instead. After a special prayer service, the members of our congregation huddle up in groups taking inventory. Where are the Israelis? Well, they're safe. They're out of the country. What about their daughter? Doesn't she work downtown? Marion would know. Did you ask Marion? I wander over by Stuart and Mary and another member, Bob.
Do you know if there is anybody from our church? Pastor Stu, there's none that we know of, is there?
Not that we know of, but Manhasset's pretty. There were on Wednesday 73 unclaimed cars in the train station parking lot.
Looks like we lost more people in one day in this town than in all the wars put together.
We don't know that yet.
No, you're right.
They're going to find a cavern in there. They're going to find, they've got to find This town never felt so small. I've lived here 25 years. This town never felt so small.
Now, we got a lot of Wall Street living here.
How are your students?
Oh, the children. Every little They're asking the big questions, but there are tanks in the street, so more than anything, they want hugs. Yesterday, I promised them I'd bring them all teddy bears.
The whole school?
No, just my class. I only have 3 there, and so I told them they'd each have one on Monday.
And that helped?
And it comforted them for a while.
Well, what child wouldn't be comforted if you promised them a new toy? I mean, what are you going to do, buy a new toy every day?
No. I mean, yes, kids like toys, but
Bob?
there are military jets. But the children can't tell the difference, and so they think it's another... And they climb under the... They're terrified. They cry for their parents, and they know their parents went to work in tall buildings. How are we ever supposed to get anything done? They passed those 3 bears around yesterday.
I'm going to go to the store and see if How many?
There are 12 kids in the class, so 9 more.
I think I should try to get 12.
If you can find 12.
Every child should have their own. Bob, can I?
Just a minute. What about the rest of the kids in the school?
Don't get the
I don't
tiny
know,
bears.
they're
They should be
teachers.
big enough to
We'll have
hug.
I'll find as many as I can.
Huggable.
I'll call you Monday.
Yeah, huggability. That's it.
Yeah, Stuart?
Nothing.
Sue, what else?
I think Bob's going to do something.
Oh, Bob. He gets it. Sometimes it takes him a while, but he gets it.
I don't know. I think he's planning to try to get bears for every kid in the school. But that's a terrible lot of bears, several hundred.
Well, you can't just walk in there with bears and say, first come, first served.
No, you can't. You got to have enough for everyone or you can't go at all.
We know someone who knows where there are several hundred bears.
We do, really? Who?
Let's ask him.
Oh, I get it. The big somebody.
You don't think he'll give them to us?
Yeah, he'll give them to us, yeah.
You don't think he will?
Mary. 3 young guys, Johnny's friends. 3 guys who spent all their time at our house when they were growing up. Little guys who lived in our refrigerator as much as their own. 3 little guys who grew up to get jobs in
Oh, no.
Yeah, he'll give us the bears.
Sue, some people, when they don't know what to do, don't do anything. But other people, even when they don't know what to do, maybe that's why Sue and I are such friends. Sue, if she sees something wrong, she's going to put it right. She just is. I love that. But it's our failing. On Saturday, I sent an email. Now, Stuart and I are not originally from New York. Because of this and because of my work in our church with the women around the country, I've made a lot of friends. So I simply tell my friends, I tell them, our community is devastated. Our children and their teachers need help. Could you send a bear? Big enough to be hugged, small enough to fit in a backpack. It should be new. Send it quickly. Send it today. And I promise you, our little church will put your bear into the arms of a child. You have our word. We thought we might get enough bears for Sue's school. We had no idea.
Oh, Mrs. Lucarelli, what's in the bag? Mrs. Lucarelli, what's in the bag?
Sit.
The bears!
She remembered. I never thought she'd remember.
Mrs. Lucarelli's memory is much better than yours.
I just get distracted.
What's first today? Is this first?
So if it's the bears, they can help us with our pledge.
Good, okay. Now, these bears are a gift to our class from my church, which is Trinity Reformed Church in my hometown of...
Manhasset.
You got it right.
That's because I took my medication.
Who wants to go first? Josh?
I'm going to name my bear Albert after Albert Einstein, who was the world's greatest scientist.
Chad.
Simba.
Hi, Simba.
Rosie.
Barry.
Hello, Barry.
Eddie.
Hank.
Hi, Jillian. And so each child chooses a bear and gives that bear a name that means something to the child. And outside on the street, people are putting up names and pictures on trees and fences. They're hoping to find those who are lost. Hoping against hope that some emergency worker will recognize an unidentified victim who has no identification and cannot yet speak. This is their hope. Others are beginning to hope only that some workers in the white tents will recognize a face and call a phone number and say, your search is over, I'm sorry. This is what these children passed on their way into school today. Me too. And on that fence by the white tent, I will place a picture of Randy, Johnny's college roommate. He was one of those 3 kids who raced through our house and yard, growing slowly into men. Randy, Philip, Mark. Marky was making his very first sales call last Tuesday. He asked his mother 3 times if his tie matched. Phil's boss asked him to stay in the tower and answer the phones. Phil was always a joker, keeping things light. He did it. He stayed. And I will soon make sure that all of Johnny's guys have a place on that street side collage of hope.
Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Mrs. Lucarelli.
When someone gives us a gift, what do we do?
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, but are the people who gave you these bears here today?
We write a thank you note.
Well, you're here. Can't you tell them?
What does your church look like? I want to draw a picture.
It's a little church on a hill in the middle of town.
It's a little church?
Less than 100.
How many square feet?
It's less than our gymnasium. Okay, believe it or not, we are going to try to get some things done today. But keep your bears close by in case you need a hug, okay? Eddie?
Mrs. Lucarelli, my sister goes to a different school, and she doesn't want to go. She's afraid, and she couldn't sleep at all last night. Do you think we could collect bears to send to her school, too?
Mrs. Lucarelli, I have a friend whose school would like bears too.
Mrs. Lucarelli.
Mrs. Lucarelli, I know a school.
Mrs. Lucarelli, bears for every child in Manhattan.
It's a movement.
We could call it the return of the bear.
We could call it teddy bears are everywhere.
Call it hugs across America.
Mrs. Lucarelli, you could call them right now and see if they would like to have bears.
All right, I will. I will call your sister's school right now. While I do that, I want you to work on your thank you notes and on those letters we started last Thursday. Okay. Eddie?
Mrs. Lucarelli, my friend, he lives in an apartment across from the pile.
Yeah.
And the other day, his mom found a piece of a lacrosse stick on their balcony, and they don't know how it got there. And I said it came from the towers when they fell down.
Could that happen, Mrs. Lucarelli?
I told you
I
it
don't
could
know
happen.
if it did. It could have. It depends on how
Did
far.
you see the stick?
Well, I asked him to show it to me, but his mom would not let me see it.
Did it fly through the air?
And the police came and they wrapped it up and they took it away.
How big was
The
it?
police are our helpers, aren't they? Now let's get to writing.
And the firemen.
And the firemen.
And the firemen.
And the firewomen.
You can't have firewomen.
They said it was a small piece of a shaft. They said it looked like a bone.
And the firewomen. And that is enough about that.
Is that an airplane?
Dear principal, we have bears now. Have you heard? Don't you think our whole school should get bears? That would be about 350, give or take some bears. Although you probably knew that. Mrs. Lucarelli says that her church is going to see what they can do. I'll believe that when I see it.
Dear Mayor Giuliani, have you heard about our teddy bear project? We are suggesting schools to our teacher, and she is calling them up. She has called 5 already. The children will soon have comfort at their school. I know we sure do. I hope that you do not work too hard these days.
Dear President Bush, I listened to your speech with my parents. My father said it was a very fine speech. That is not usually what he says when you speak. I think this trouble is making us all try a little harder. I know I will, and I hope you will too.
Hello, America. God bless you. Signed, Shad, in Manhattan.
By the end of the day, I've simply taken another step and then another. It's what I do. I've contacted 5 principals who have excitedly requested over 1,000 bears. I go to see Mary after school. Mary,
I just got a call.
I've created a monster. My kids think other kids need bears too, and so they kept giving me names of schools, and I just called and asked, and now we have requests for over 1,000 bears.
1,000 bears?
I've created a monster.
I just got a call from Western Michigan.
My school alone needs 350. We can't do this. How am I supposed to tell them no?
I just got a call from Western Michigan, and they're driving a truckload of bears out here themselves.
Hey, you two, guess what just happened?
We don't want to know. Kenji said that.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. Bob just called, and he says, Stuart, what do? I bought all these bears, and I can't fit them in my car. I said, well, how many did you buy, Bob? He said, 350. He said, give me any bear in the store. He's got 350 bears. He's still on the phone. What should I tell him?
Tell them we're on our way. 350 bears.
Bob, he gets it.
Yep.
The next day is Tuesday.
Pastor Stu, there's another delivery of about a dozen big boxes out here. I think it's more bears.
What are we going to do with all these bears? How are we going to organize this? Mary!
Teddy bears, journalistic report. A church in Manhasset on Long Island has been collecting bears to help children. It is very interesting. They set up their church chairs in rows. Each chair holds 1 bag. Each bag holds 10 bears. Each row has 5 chairs. Each row of chairs has 50 bears. A Chevrolet Suburban can transport 17 rows into Manhattan. That's 850 bears. A Chrysler minivan can transport 15 rows plus 3 more bags, 780 bears. That's a lot of bears.
Bears, a report by Eddie. There used to be bears on this island back before cheeseburgers and milkshakes when the Manhattan Indians lived here, and they had their own name for bears, but I have not found out what that is. The only bears that live here now are in the zoo. Bears are very, very big and very dangerous, and you should respect them for that.
The This is not a major operation since we have so few church members to begin with, and even fewer with available time in the afternoons. We treasure every minute anyone can give us. Some give minutes, others give much more. They work without reward.
Sue, you really should sit down and take a break.
For example, that woman there, you don't know her name. She is working faithfully almost every day. And so it happens, a bear at a time. Unpack, inspect, record sender's name, send the well-loved bears off to the cleaners, read the notes, give them a prayer and a hug. We are staving off the demons for a while. We haven't found a single Manhasset friend, and the hours are growing longer, our hearts less hopeful. The children and parents of the lost growing more desperate. We can't get near the pile. We can't find a hospital with positive news. Families are beginning to speak of memorial services, and Johnny's guys are just...
I was watching you on Sunday in church, so I'm worried about you.
Oh, it's not about me. You do what has to be done.
Do you know how a child's top, when it's spinning very fast, looks as if it's not moving at all? Mm-hmm. And then you see it start to wobble, just a little bit at first. I'm not watching a child's top. I'm watching a full-sized human top. Have you been writing about this?
Oh, Mary, it's all I talk about, it's all I think about, it's all I dream about if I sleep. Why would I want to write about it?
You know the old Jewish prophet Jeremiah. Yeah. He wrote out his grief, his lament, lamentations. Have you ever written poetry?
You don't know me very well.
Just try. I love you, Sue. Stuart loves you. We're your friends.
I don't want to know that you love me.
You don't? Really?
No, I don't. This is not
then
about...
What do you want? What's missing?
I have no idea. Those guys, Johnny's guys.
I know. Have you ever written prayers?
Oh, yeah, well, prayer, that's another thing. I think it's a matter of trying to find God in the first place, let alone have a conversation.
I know. Sometimes I write out my prayers. It's different than speaking prayers.
I don't write prayers. I don't write poetry. I don't write laments, for pity's sake. This is not about... They don't call me Mama Luke for nothing. The deliveries that week go to Eddie's sister's school, and then to those other 4 that were on our first day's list. More calls come in as word gets out that we have bears. Suddenly it's Friday, and it's our turn. Our principal agreed that the other classes could come into our classroom. My 10-year-olds will help the younger students select their bears. It becomes a loving competition.
This bear is so soft.
This bear is very friendly.
This one's a genius.
This bear will make you feel safe for sure.
This bear has the cutest hair and makeup.
This bear is a good listener. Oh, you have to hear this tag attached here. Listen. This bear is now yours. It got me through some bad nights.
Oh, this bear has a drawing, and on the back it says, I have come to stay with you, and anytime you're feeling blue, I've got a great big hug for you. From Missouri to Manhattan with love. Anytime you're feeling blue, I've got a great big hug for you.
Mine says, hello, my name is Spencer. I know this is not much, but it is something. I think you should take it.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you, New York City. Mrs. Lucarelli, how many miles is it to Michigan?
Okay, listen. Mine is the longest. Dear friend, hi. My name is John Viola. I'm really sorry if you lost any kind of family. I know, I lost 2 cousins. I'm sending you one of my favorite stuffed animals. His name is Fred. I hope that this bear can comfort you or help you sleep at night. I'm really, really sorry.
I'd take that one if I were you.
happiest day of my life.
Acting out cases are way down. Principals say stress levels drop within an hour of the bear's arrival. Our little church delivers all the bears we have. Over 50,000 bears. But one superintendent hounds me. His school system has been hit hard by 9/11, followed by the Bell Harbor plane crash. It's the Bronx.
All right, look, it's me again from the... Well, surely you recognize my voice by now. I need you to please return my calls. We're getting desperate over here. These kids. I need the bears. I need the bears. 4 schools, 6,000 bears, 6,000. Please, if you can help, please.
Mary gets a call from California.
They're really cute bears. We supply gift shops, and we have some left over. They have a clock in the belly, but they're still cute. If you can use them, we'll send them.
Well, our standard has been that the bears need to be 10 to 14 inches high.
These are 10 inches, I think.
They need to be huggable.
I guess you could hug these.
They can't be tiny bears or monster bears. They are comfort bears. They have a very real job. They're going to be in school, so they can't be toy bears or make sounds, just plain and simple teddy bears.
Well, you know better than I do. I'll send you one.
That just one.
2 things happen next. Mary calls the Bronx and tells them there's no way we can get 6,000 more bears. No way. The second thing is that we get a sample of the gift shop bear and we say, no, it's not right. They have a clock in the belly. They're more in the toy category than the comfort category. They don't fit what we're trying to do. We have to tell them no.
The very next day is Tuesday. It's 11 a.m. We're in the church building.
There's a delivery here. I think it might be more bears. A lot of them.
It can't be. I know about it.
They're unloading big boxes right now. It says clock bears.
Oh, we didn't tell them to send those. They weren't supposed to. What are we going to do with those? How many are there?
They said 124 boxes, 6,000 bears.
6,000?
6,000 bears.
6,000?
6,000.
Mary,
I think we have to call the Bronx.
we're going to deliver 6,000 more bears?
They're going to get there before the break. You've got about 3 days.
How's it going to happen this time?
Well, who's got the ability to get big jobs done fast? Who's got the people? Who has the equipment?
Remember that guy who worked for the,
Yes. He said if we ever needed anything,
they do it for us.
I'll call him right away.
Let's carry some boxes. Mary's calling the fire department.
They show up the next night. They've got a bus, a big coach bus. They stop traffic out front and back it right up to the church. When they're done, that bus is jammed full of bear boxes. No room for anybody except the driver.
Hey, why don't you guys come on inside and get a bear?
All right.
Now we're talking.
Mary, I've invited these guys to come on in and get a bear.
Yes, of course. We have some bears that aren't ideal for children, and it's been our tradition that our volunteers can take one of these bears as a keepsake.
Oh, that's all right. I don't think we need any bears.
Change your mind?
Well, no, well, actually...
We thought you said beer.
Pretty dumb, I guess, but
Well,
we don't need any bears.
We don't have any beer, but I can...
Just a minute. How about this well-dressed bear with a motorcycle jacket?
Ma'am, I would be honored to have that bear.
What else you got back there?
Yeah, why not? I'll look.
The fire department delivers the bears to the 4 Bronx schools. One of the firefighters calls Mary from the scene.
Mrs. Clark! Mrs. Clark, do you hear that? Do you hear that screaming? There are kids lined up on both sides of the street, and they're screaming their lungs out. They have these huge signs that say, "We love the FDNY." I've never seen anything like this happen before, ever. And I can't believe this is all about teddy bears.
I say I can't either. We broke our own rules. But I'm thinking a toy bear with a clock in the belly turns out to be just fine.
It's just that, well, I grew up in the Bronx. I know those schools you're talking about. I know those schools.
The last day, the day before school break, we receive a shipment from New Mexico, from the Apache Reservation, and there is one school system we have ignored, one right at our own front door, the Manhasset Elementary Schools, who have lost so many. There are just enough bears so that all the children can have one in our little devastated town.
We make all of our deliveries, including one large bear that we deliver to the principal's office. Before we leave the building, I see there's a little boy sitting by that big bear. I go over and tell him, that bear has come to Manhasset from American Indians way out west. His eyes grow wide and he wraps his arms all the way around that bear. As we leave the building, the principal takes me aside.
See that boy right over there?
Yeah, I told him where that big bear came from.
That little boy is in the 3rd grade, 9 years old. Today, he told his teacher that without his dad, he doesn't see a reason to go on living. So, he's with me today. Thank you. Thanks for not forgetting about us.
We deliver all those huggable bears, but what of the littlest bears, too small to hug? We find a place for them too. We take them down to where Johnny's guys, we take them down to the hole, where the construction workers, firemen, policemen, EMTs work through that long, hard season, attempting to complete that which can never be done. We take the bears in clear plastic bags into St. Paul's Chapel, which used to rest in the shadow of two towers. It's become a way station, pews turned into beds. We enter in silence, trying not to interrupt those who seek quiet comfort here, but we never have to wait long. We're usually only a few steps inside the door.
Hey, can I get one of those?
With no more bears to deliver, I do what I can no longer avoid. I write. I write a lament for the children.
Downstairs, grab nothing, leave now. Everyone to the basement.
What's happening?
What's going on?
Are we safe?
We, the adults, stone-faced, tight-lipped, unsmiling. Why?
It must be terrible.
We want our parents. Where are our parents?
They come to us running, some shoeless. They hold each other and cry and they bleed. My God, they are crying and bleeding.
Our teachers, too, speak to each other quietly.
They hug us.
And try to patch.
It must be nothing. Nothing can happen here. Not here.
We walk home.
No school buses, no cars, no trains.
We walk across bridges.
Not 3 blocks, 3 miles.
There's smoke everywhere. Why is there so much dust, white dust, covering everything?
Are they going to kill us all?
What about my puppy?
Why do they hate us? What have we done?
Where's God? Why can't he stop them?
Why?
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 And there I am in the school basement again and again. I have never left it. I write a lament for the workers.
We've picked up their broken bicycles, their cars, the gnarled, twisted mess of their offices.
And there I am in the hole again and again. I know what Mary would lament. She would lament quitting her morning walks because she cannot bear seeing
One more front porch with those piles of wax left from candles burning overnight in memory of a lost family member.
I know what Stuart would lament. He would lament hearing
strains of bagpipes on the wind announcing another memorial service or a funeral if a body has finally been found.
But what of Sue? What is Sue's lament? How can I ever say? I'm home. It's Saturday. I hear a cry outside the house. It's the cry of a dog. I run out. I see that Daisy, our dog, has been struck by a car. She just lies there crying. We pick her up and carry her to the vet and back home again. We fuss over her day and night. Finally, after a few weeks, she struggles to her feet, stands for a moment, and collapses, dies.
She was a great dog.
Oh, that she was.
I'm sorry.
Feels like salt in the wound.
You want to talk about the wound?
No, I am worn out, Stu. I wish it was over. I want normal back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about Daisy. Oh. All right, you want to know? You want to know what the wound is? There are 3 beautiful kids who are gone, and they've only found enough to bury one of them. But my son is still alive. And I don't know why. Daisy got run over by a car. I can understand that. We didn't fix the fence. I can feel guilty about that. But this is what hurts so bad. I don't know how to feel happy that my son was not in those buildings.
You know what evil is? It's jealous. It's jealous of anything good. And it's jealous that it got Johnny's guys and it didn't get Johnny.
Mrs. Lucarelli, this basket has gifts for you. Our parents helped us.
This stationery is for teaching us to write and how to love our city.
These safety pins are for making us feel so safe.
This flashlight is for lighting our way in the darkness. It takes 2 sized D batteries. They're already in there. I checked.
These lifesavers are for the lives you saved. They are assorted flavors.
This perfume is for the breath of fresh air that your teaching brings.
Thank you for an amazing year.
Goodbye, Mrs. Lucarelli. It's been a wonderful year.
She's a good teacher.
She's Mama Lou.
She's the bear lady.
Yeah!
I want to ask you to remember, children. Remember the year the bear, returned for a little while to the Isle of the Manhattans. On the 1-year anniversary of 9/11, I went back to St. Paul's Chapel, where George Washington worshiped. You can go there. It's across the street from the site. Many were there that day, mostly men of armor, like trees, with little bears attached to their precious helmets. They asked me to give a prayer. I knew they would, so I was ready. My heart remembers what my mind tries to forget. But I seek not to be overcome by evil, but to overcome evil with good. Be with those who suffer, Lord, and grant them your peace. In the words of the Algonquin people of Manhattan, Elogok Niskam, Nigagil Ependik Ayam. Let me be the tool of the Creator. I am now in your hands. Amen.